So here I am. I've just finished talking to Rachel, and we're going to do a little walk around this absolutely incredible restaurant. This is the menu. What is special about this restaurant is the bar. Of course, the food is great, but that's the bar. And we're now going to walk in. They have a really nice selection of wines, and this is their really quaint and quiet and it's dimly lit because the ambiance is very important, as Rachel said, and at night they have candles, and so it gives it a very special feel. This is the menu, and then let's just take a quick walk through to another section here. And this is Rachel in the kitchen. She's back to doing what she absolutely loves to do. She's preparing for the dinner now. And this is the kitchen. You can see some of the spices here. And there we've got another angle to this. Gorgeous restaurant. I love the walls as well. And look at the ceiling, so typical. Hi everyone. Today on Melting Pot, I am sitting in Barcelona in this really quaint restaurant. It's called Moog, and it's in absolutely the heart of the city. And of course, I have with me Rachel Pereira, who is the founder owner of Moog, and she's going to take us through a lot of things. So thank you so much for joining me today, Rachel. Okay, Rachel, let's begin with Pereira as your last name.
Yeah.
And so what is the connection that you have in terms of it? Because we all know it's a Portuguese last name, right?
Yes.
So what is the connection that you have with that last name?
Well, basically, while the rest of India was colonized by the English, Goa and a few other smaller states were Portuguese, which I guess not a lot of people know. So that's why, hence the Portuguese last name.
Okay, so you're basically from Goa.
From Goa, yes.
Okay, interesting. And so that's your Portuguese connection.
That's the connection.
Okay.
That's basically the only connection.
Okay, fine. Some ancestor,
Possibly.
I guess, would have been Portuguese.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so Rachel, let's talk about the fact that you've been in Barcelona now for a few years.
Yes.
And you've always been within the food industry, right?
In Barcelona, yes.
In Barcelona,
yes.
Okay. And so what brought you to Barcelona? I mean, you could have, I'm assuming, you have Portuguese nationality. So you could have gone to Portugal. So why did you not go to Portugal and come to...
It was an option. It
Okay.
was on my list of options. And
Okay.
I happened to come to Barcelona first. And then I was going to see if spend some time here and then maybe go to Lisbon and Porto and travel a little bit. But it just happened that, with trying to figure out moving, finding a place to stay, I found a job really easily in a couple of months, and then just life. And like most people, when they come here, you ask them why Barcelona, and they're like, I came for a bit and now it's 10 years. That's exactly, I fell in love with the city, and it was very kind to me. And I go to Lisbon and Porto and been to Portugal often. I go on a regular basis actually. I love it, but somehow I don't know.
Yeah,
It just felt like it's. I mean, you moved here.
Yeah,
as well,
I know.
so,
I mean, yeah, there's
um,
there's a flavor to the city which is very hard to explain to anyone. It's a
really,
connection, right?
You're right. Yeah, it is very hard because a lot of people ask me the same question, and I don't know how to explain it. It's just it feels correct. It feels like home right now, and even when I travel and I'm coming back, I feel like I'm coming back home, and I'm really happy to come back. And in fact, I kind of appreciate living here a lot more every time I go out. And I enjoy traveling, but there are just things that you can't explain. You just the life, the weather, the people, the kindness, and I guess that's pretty much.
Okay. Yeah. No.
The produce for a chef as well
Yeah.
is a big win-win, but it's a mix of everything. The pace of life I love after I was born and brought up in Bombay, and that's hectic, and this is different.
Yeah.
So it's still busy, I guess, as a chef, co-owner of a restaurant. It doesn't matter which part of the world you are in. It's hectic, but at least when you leave the door, there is like a pause, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So
That makes a lot of sense, and you're absolutely right. When it's your own business, then of course there is a certain kind of pressure, because especially in Barcelona, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of restaurants, right?
Yeah.
I mean, on this very street, every second shop is a restaurant. So how do you stand out? Which, okay, yes, you have an Indian twist and flavor to your restaurant, but so do a number of other Indian restaurants that have now emerged, right? So what makes you different? But before you answer that, I want to know from you why you named your restaurant Moog.
Okay.
And what exactly does Moog mean, and how does it connect to you with your childhood, maybe, or with the country that you were born in?
Okay, so Moog is a Konkani word, which is the language we speak in Goa.
Okay.
I was brought up in Bombay, so I don't actually speak Konkani. I can understand it, but my mom is fluent, and we spent a lot of our summers in Goa at my grandmom's house, and it means love. And it's not so. When I was going to name the restaurant, I had a few other options in my head, but then this just suddenly clicked, and it was 3 letters. It was catchy. I figured as a word that was probably going to be foreign for people here, you couldn't really pronounce it wrong. It would be easy to remember, and it means love. And I guess I would never imagined I would name my restaurant anything like that, but I loved the sound of Moog. It was simple, short, sweet, and there's obviously a lot of love in this place, in building this place, in the food and everything, the service, the treatment. So that's pretty much. I couldn't think after that of a better name. Like there were options, and then when this came out and when this popped up in my head, it was just that was it. Then I was like, okay, there is a connection also with Goa, which I could explain to people because not a lot of people over here even know about Goa, I guess. And then to your previous question, a lot of Indian restaurants, which I don't really say Moog is, because it's a mix of it's a mix of Goan food, but also the other food that I love, which is Southeast Asian, Thai predominantly, which you've seen and you've tasted in the menu. But that's basically what sets it apart, is that there are lots of Indian restaurants. Not too many, not as many as we would like in Barcelona.
Yeah, but from 10 years ago, I think there are
for sure,
a few
for
more.
Sure, yes.
Yeah.
But I think in I would say Europe in general, Indian food is predominantly North Indian food, and more the northern region of India, and the southern food in general, or the coastal food, is nowhere really to be seen apart from a couple of South Indian pairs. So I definitely think that what I do here sets it apart from the next Indian restaurant.
Okay, when you came up with because earlier you were working, you said, and then when you came up with the idea of actually owning a restaurant, how hard was that decision? Did people try to talk you out of it and saying, "Oh my God, Rachel, what are you doing?"
No,
Okay.
I don't know why I did that, but I think for everybody, the sound of owning your own restaurant is always very glorious and sounds more romantic than it really is. But I never ever, it was not the end dream for me, or opening a restaurant. But I think 8 years, well, now it's been 8 years that I've been here this year. But working here for 5 years before Morg, I kind of got frustrated with not being able to cook what I wanted to cook, and not being able to eat what I wanted to eat because it's not available. There's lots of beautiful Spanish restaurants, as there should be, because that's the Catalan cuisine is so different from many other cuisines, in the sense of, I love the idea of mixing the mar y montaña, the seafood and meat and all of those things. And I just thought that there was so much more that I could do with my background and having access to this beautiful produce. And it definitely did stem from there. And then the second thing was that I had my brother, who's my partner in this, who was wanting to move, and that was where it came about. So he comes from a business background. I'd been working in kitchens for now about 10 years, only a couple years in India and then here, and it just made sense. Then that's when we really started thinking about it, and that was pretty much it. I'm not sure if I made the right decision yet. But
I mean, how old is this, or like how recent is this restaurant?
It's a little under 3 years.
Okay,
so
so I
2
mean,
years and 9-10 months.
Yeah, 2 years and 10 months is not enough time for you to even consider whether this was like a good decision or not.
I mean, I think in a restaurant business in general, it's hard to survive. But we're doing something different that I'm quite confident about. There is nothing like this in Barcelona, and so let's hope it's not a bad decision.
Sure. I mean, I have been here once, and of course I'm going to keep coming back because I really enjoy, again, so like you mentioned the Southeast Asian influence.
Yes.
So can you just take me through how you decide on the menu, like the concept, and how do you combine? Are there like similarities that you see between the Goan, the coastal cuisine, and the Southeast Asian cuisine?
For me, yes, because we use a lot of coconut milk. The food is generally quite spicy. A lot of seafood, which I guess not in every part of India is known for their seafood, right? So, like the fish curry, some people who don't know too much about Indian cuisine or Southeast Asian cuisine as well in general always ask, is this curry Thai or is it, because it's got the general
ingredients
suspects like garlic and chili and coconut milk and acidity, a slight sweetness and spice, and so yes. And coming up with the menu, it's basically just trial and error. And when I started, I had just decided that I definitely wanted to have only 10 to 11 dishes and keep it small, and maybe one type of protein of each type. So there's one fish, one mussel, one gambas, one of everything, and that's it.
And
then,
do you change the menu? Is it seasonal or it stays the same?
well, everything I have I get throughout the year, so I've not changed it as much as I would like to, because it just gets a bit much too. I started off with the idea of wanting to change a lot more than I am right now. But what I do now is I have events once in a month, and that's when I bring on new dishes and see how people like them, and then I either take something off and put one of those on. In the summers, I definitely do a few changes with the salads and
because you need a
whatever
lot
comes
more
in.
freshness
And with the change, whatever is in season.
Yeah, when you're like experimenting, do you what kind of, because it's not easy to marry certain ingredients with certain ingredients, or to try and connect the flavors, right?
I actually find it quite easy within like Goan food, and let's say like going back to my point about the curry. I feel like it is, but what I find hard is to explain that connection to people more than anything else. To come up with the dish is not a problem. I basically just do what I like to do. I cook what I like, and that's for me to express to the people why I do what I do is my sort of challenge and hurdle, because it is hard to. Some people get it very easily, and then some don't.
Yeah, if you could. I mean, our 5 minutes of the conversation has been with this sound. Okay. I've kept the camera rolling. Okay. And of course, this bit will get edited.
Okay. No, because he didn't know that. We're prepping for the evening.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I just told him to hang on for another 10-15 minutes.
Okay. No, this bit will get edited. Yeah. So now I wanted to ask you, owning a restaurant, because this is the first time that you're actually a co-owner of a restaurant, and you're the face of it in terms of being the chef, right? So I wanted to ask you, what has owning a restaurant actually taught you about people that you couldn't have actually learned any other way? Because obviously as the chef, when you have guests, you come out and you talk to them. So, the connection with people.
Yeah.
How do you draw that out into who you are? And how has that changed you, actually, if at all it has, as a person? The connection with people. Yeah, in the sense that, because you've never owned a restaurant before, right? So you're in relation to the restaurant. You have a lot of people coming in. Okay, so your perception of what people think about food. When they come into your restaurant, obviously you as a chef come out and you talk to them. What has there been a shift in your understanding of how people react to food when you have conversations with them?
Yeah, I think the first thing that comes to my head is that my first impressions in the first year was I was very surprised that a lot of people have tasted certain flavors for the first time. There are a lot of our regulars who are very well traveled, and but there is a big chunk of people, I feel like, who have probably eaten the same kind of, which we see a lot in Europe as well. Probably eating the same kind of food a large chunk of their lives. So like they're very shocked and they like, what is this? Where are these flavors coming from? What is this leaf and what is so things that come very naturally to us that just the knowing. I think because I think when you grow up in a big city, you have restaurants from all different places. Well, it's like you said, it's only now in the recent couple of years that we're seeing so many different restaurants from different countries, like more multicultural openings in Barcelona, which probably wasn't there.
Yeah, I mean, 10 years ago, there was no, like, people just started talking about Japanese.
Exactly.
You know, and now Korean, Vietnamese, Japanese, of course, everywhere.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I mean with Japanese food, because it's a lot more cleaner in terms of like even with Japanese food, it's only certain things that I have even made it like sushi.
Correct.
There's so much more than just sushi.
Yeah.
But that's like the easy entry because it's fish, it's rice, it has to be perfectly executed. But you take, for example, Indian or Thai food, it's very complex. It's not. The layers of flavor and the herbs we use, the spices we use, it all comes out, and that's like for them it's wow. But it's
because their palate is not used to it. Yeah,
it was very shocking for me that you haven't tried something like this, because we back home would have grown up eating a lot of cuisines, not just Indian food, right? So it's normal. It's very normal to try something new. But this is a little bit of and that's also been our challenge, to get people to come out of their comfort zone and try a food from a culture that is a little more unknown to them, even though people think that Indian restaurants are very popular and all over the world. But I think when you talk about regional Indian food, there's so much, and a very small amount of India has been showcased.
Correct.
Which is generally,
the north. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's like the curry and the butter chicken,
and it's very general.
And it's like everyone's perception of Indian food starts
every week we get a couple of questions asked about why we don't serve naan. We don't eat naan. We don't really eat naan at all. And I think Goa is one of the few states that has a bread culture, which comes from the Portuguese as well. So yeah, it's this that I learned about people. It's opening for a little bit.
Yeah, no, interesting because I would have imagined that since your concept is so different, and like you've rightly said, the comfort food is what they go out to eat. There are people who are, of course, experimental, and different cuisines they like to try, but like you mentioned, the palate is not used to certain kind of herbs or certain flavors. And a combination of those flavors most definitely must be taking them completely blowing them out, right? So
sorry.
No, it's fine.
Really, my day between work.
Yeah.
It's accepting orders, figuring out the night service, the weekend, and I can't.
You can't. Yeah, no, I get that. Okay, so let's talk about your vision for Moog. Yeah. Where do you think in the next? Okay, we'll give it like a long ended.
Yes, please.
In the next 5 years.
That's not very long.
That's not long.
I hope. Okay, let's be positive.
Yeah.
So back to our point of how we're seeing a lot more opening. I feel like Moog is definitely one of the more different restaurants in Barcelona, and I'm hoping that we also see a lot of people moving here more than they ever did before, with everything that's going on and everyone searching for better weather and a work-life balance, and just having the same reason we're here.
Yeah.
So I'm really banking on that, because it's always most of our people who come here a lot of the times are from other places and are searching for something outside of the regular that is freely available here and lovely.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you get to a point where you just want to, like all of us, we want to try different things. So I think that in the next 5 years, I'm really hoping that it is a restaurant that is, appreciated a lot more, and that we have also given something to the city that is different,
which you've now made your home. So,
exactly.
Yes. Okay, I want to ask you, I'm going to close with that. As an Indian woman, you can call yourself an entrepreneur now, right?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of advice would you give to Indian women who are, or women in general actually, who, you took a big leap of faith when you did what you did in a different culture, in a different city, different environment, and you did it. So what kind of a message would you have for women? Okay, I started with Indian women, but I think I'm going to generalize it. Women who sort of, firstly, don't have the courage to move into a different environment. That's one, and two, and a different culture, and experience something different, and two, like you, to actually own a business. So given your experience, your personal experience.
So is this for Indian women or women in general?
Women, I think whatever you...
I feel like Indian women have, I don't need to give Indian women any advice. They're amazing women in general. But I also don't feel the right to give advice at the
it's
place.
Not so much advice, more like an inspiration.
Correct. But I would like to say that I do come from a basic place of privilege to be able to do this. I didn't fight any big fights to be able to be here. My path was paved pretty easy compared to, I consider myself an immigrant, by the way. So but I see a lot of other women and the sort of hardships they have to navigate in kitchens, one. And then to be able to rise up beyond just someone who's managed to enter, but then to get to the next level and to keep going, it's hard. So my advice, I don't like that.
Okay,
but is to just keep going, because if you want to do something, there is nothing that you're going to do that you can be confident about it being successful or a failure, because you got to do what you got to do. And if there's something that you want to do, my advice is basically to just keep trying and keep going and keep pushing the boundary and keep learning. And there will be situations that will not be fun, and you just you put them behind you. There will be people that don't serve you at all, and then you choose who you want to surround yourself with, and try to keep yourself in an environment that is inspiring. For me, that was my big, I think, plus point and reason. I not that I feel like I've gotten anywhere great right now, but just to be up until here, definitely to surround yourself by people who are better than you and inspire you and encourage. And when you have any opportunity to learn, even if it means to work for free, which I've done in several occasions, and you can, I go back to saying that I'm privileged enough to be able to make those decisions, right? Not everyone can, but if you can, then to just keep doing it and to push as much as you can.
Push the boundaries.
Absolutely.
And
everything different that then, going back to the fact about being an Indian woman, whatever we have different is what we need to use and not try to blend in at all.
Yeah, and I guess that's your USP, right?
Yeah, I didn't want to start a restaurant doing the same food that everybody else would have started, which a lot of people who come here want to do. They want to do a take on patatas bravas or tortillas, and I just think, no, I don't want to do my take on that. There's enough of takes on that here already. Every second person is doing that.
Yeah.
What do I do that I love to eat and cook, and that comes from me?
Yeah.
And the only thing I take is the produce from here and then make it my own.
Yeah.
And that definitely.
It's obviously, and then so the love that you put into what you cook and what you produce on that table makes all the difference. So you could be doing it like you mentioned bravas, or you mentioned,
Right.
I mean, there are two angles to it. One, of course, commercially it's important. Because you're running a business. But also, if the quality of your food, I think food is, and I mean, I'm talking to a chef here. I'm nowhere near a chef, but I truly believe that food, like they say, food is way into someone's heart.
Oh, I believe it too.
Right?
Completely.
So I think
we do everything for food. Like our whole day revolves around where's my next meal. If I'm going to travel, I only want to go to a country that has good food. I've already listed the restaurants. I've made a reservation. I don't do anything so organized in my life.
Other than for food, yeah. I mean, and you're a chef. So therefore, whatever, it's the passion.
It's the
passion. And then if you're able to convert that passion into a business, why not?
Yeah.
Good luck to you, Rachel.
Thank you so much. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for coming over.
No, absolutely. I mean, when I came here to have a meal, and I saw what I saw, and I ate what I ate, and I went like, no, Rachel has to be on my show. So
thank you for having me.
And I wish you all the luck. And I'm sure 5 years from now, if we have a similar conversation, I want to know what you're going to say.
Let's do this 5 years from now. Hopefully we'll both be here. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
That is also true. Anyways.
Thank you so much.
Thank you again.